Tonight I'm going to suck your blood.
What's going on, everyone? J-Buck here, and we're going to be breaking down everything, the setup, ending, book to movie differences, and of course our reaction and review of this latest supernatural horror movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. If you're new here, welcome to J-Buck Studios. Please like and subscribe to ensure you're no longer a lost boy, and of course, stay up to date on our latest videos. Otherwise, thank you so much for clicking this. Sit down, relax, as we sink our teeth into this latest Dracula movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
The devil is real. May God have mercy on us all.
So the Demeter is taking the story of the captain's log from Bram Stoker's Dracula and essentially putting us in the boots of the crew rather than reading a past account of events. Surprisingly, this section of the book is only a handful of pages, but does paint a lot of allure, mystery, terror, and intrigue as we're briefly introduced to Captain Elliot, first mate Vucek, a handful of the crew, and Clemens, a doctor who joins the crew because one of the other crewmates is terrified of what they're loading for their voyage. Various boxes all showing a black dragon, a symbol of evil, a bad omen, definitely not a good thing, but hey.
It's a living!
The voyage from Transylvania to London takes roughly a month as the men tend to daily routines, quickly having suspicion someone or something else is on board, as all of their livestock mysteriously dies via neck bites. Clemens, he chalks it up as potentially rabies, and while investigating discovers a woman, a stowaway, buried in a heap of dirt after one of the crates slips and breaks open. As Clemens tends to her malnourished state, more of the crew turn up missing.
What? Okay, back up. How the hell do you turn up missing?
Because nobody knows where you are when they realize you ain't there.
So you telling me that you can appear and disappear at the same time?
No, man, you can't appear and disappear at the same time. The bitch ain't David Copperfield.
okay, yeah. More of the crew dies, with this mysterious woman coming to, explaining her name is Anna. She and her family have lived in Transylvania their entire lives, and she knows of the evil, the one they call Dracula, showing multiple bite marks all over her body, alluding to her having been Dracula's Lunchable for the voyage. With Clemens being a man of science, he and the others find all of this quite unbelievable until one of the crew is attacked and bitten by the monster. Now, viewers, of course, know how vampires work, and this sumbitch springs to life, trying to attack the other members of the crew while having white glossy eyes as though he's being controlled by something else. Luckily, they subdue him, tie him up on the deck, only for him to burst into flames when the morning sunrise hits the Demeter. Clearly, they are no longer dealing with science and the world doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. Clemens and Anna investigate, looking for Dracula's hiding spot because this guy is pretty good at hide-and-go-seek, only to discover a crate after crate filled with dirt, with a special one containing only a cane with a wolf-like handle. Now, all of this ties in with the Dracula novel, lore, and the symbolism of why the ship is called the Demeter. History lesson time. So in Greek mythology, Demeter is the goddess of the harvest, typically using dirt to grow vegetation. In the lore of Dracula, he needs to rest in the dirt of his homeland, dirt that is said to be consecrated, which explains why the ship is solely carrying crates of dirt. The Demeter is to deliver Dracula to London, a place with a denser population than Transylvania, therefore tying in with the harvest illusion. Dracula will have a whole new group of people to harvest for blood, familiars, and other vampires. Demeter, honestly, is a pretty slick name to use for this ship and all of these illusions. Another thing is the crew aboard the Demeter is dealing with an otherworldly creature that only knows of death, as one by one, they're victims. This again ties in with the goddess of Demeter, as she unfortunately had her daughter abducted by another god that is closely tied to death in the underworld, Hades. So in a symbolic manner, the crew can be seen as Demeter's daughter, while Dracula is Hades, doing anything and everything he can to get what he desires. Both end in the Demeter dealing with massive tragedy.
Boy,
That escalated quickly.
I got way off topic there, but now knowing what they're dealing with, they hatch a Kevin McAllister-like plan, full-on prep montage, with a goal of trapping the beast on a sinking Demeter and taking the remaining lifeboat to rescue. All ready for the plan, it goes horribly awry as they discover Dracula can fly.
Oh, they fly now!
They fly now? They fly now!
The Man-Bat dispatches almost of all the crew with only Clemens and Anna left. Shooting the beast and trading blows with an axe, they are lucky enough to pin Dracula down with a part of the Demeter's mast that's broken off during the storm. The pair abandon the ship as the Demeter crashes directly into the shores of the English coast. Clemens and Anna marooned off the coast, staying afloat using some pieces of the Demeter as Anna comes clean to Clemens, revealing that she has been Dracula's familiar in a sense, but now a full-on vampire as she accepts her fate and burns at sea like the most horrific Viking funeral imaginable. The final minutes reveal a newspaper headline mentioning ghost ship and no survivors, hinting at Dracula having escaped the Demeter shipwreck. Clemens is seen in a bar, attempting to make sense of the world as he hears the same wooden thud that became oh so familiar on the Demeter. As he looks around the crowded bar, he sees a cloaked figure sitting in the corner, with the thud coming from the very same wolf-handled cane he found in one of the wooden crates on the Demeter. Quickly following this mysterious figure, Clemens catches a glimpse of them right before they disappear into a foggy alleyway, knowing damn well that Dracula is alive and well, now having all of England to himself, like some sort of all-you-can-eat Sunday brunch that's honestly not really worth the money, but everyone you know just keeps telling you how great it is. But you think that the food is, you get it. Dracula is alive, and Clemens now has a little more sense of the world and a revenge mission against the Count. No. This does not mean a new Van Helsing movie is coming, but it does leave the door open for a Clemens sequel if they wanted to go that way. Personally, I think that this is a great finish. Just leave it there. Now, I wanted to touch on the differences and similarities of the novel. However, with the novel being fairly vague, it's hard to pin down specifics, but I do like how the ending of the movie features Dracula having a wolf-handled cane and escaping into the darkness of the night. Much like it's described that a dark dog-like wolf creature is seen leaping from the deck of the wrecked Demeter onto the beach and is seemingly never seen again into the darkness of night, alluding to the same creature was in fact Dracula in a transmutative form, and the wolf cane is a nice, wink wink Easter egg to fans who have read Bram Stoker's Dracula novel. Overall, though, I thought that this was an effective story based on the source material. Andre Overdahl nails the tone, tension, and legit, there are horrifying and gruesome moments that I did not expect. Like, I didn't even mention in the breakdown, but the moments of sunlight hitting the vampires was, oh man, it was good. The production design alone, with all of the rain and really exploring the nooks and crannies of the ship, allowed viewers to feel the helplessness of the trapped crew. It really felt like a video game to me. I think it's 7 days to die, where you have to prep all day and then the monsters show up at night when the sun goes down. I was hoping for more of a monster movie. Like, Dracula is used sparingly, and sometimes you forget that he's even on the boat, because they're steering into different threats that are tangentially connected to him. It lost me at times, to be honest, with the story going through the motions. I'll toss The Last Voyage of the Demeter a solid 6 out of 10. Again, it effectively does what I was hoping for. Vampires on a boat. All that was missing was Sam Jackson yelling about being tired about all these blood-sucking vampires on his boat.
Enough is enough!
Instead, what we got, and I appreciate, were character motives and bits and pieces of their backstory that fueled why characters would do what they do. Like Clemens, the captain, and David Dastmalchian's first mate really dive into their characters without bogging down the story with them, explaining X, Y, and Z. So yeah, much more of a tragic personal story for characters, rather than a full-out, monster slash and gash movie. Anyway, that is everything from the last Voyage of the Demeter. What did you think of this latest Dracula movie? Does this top Morbius and his Morbin time shenanigans as being the bestest vampire movie of the 2020s? I'd love to hear anything and everything in the comments below. Also, giveaway competitions have started up, as we'll be giving away 2 copies of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the 15th of August, and all you gotta do to get a chance of winning this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the last Voyage of the Demeter. We'll pick the comments at random on the 15th of next month, and the winners will be featured on screen then. Thank you again for watching through all of this. The support of these videos is absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you enough. And of course, we'll be back next week with some Blue Beetle coverage. And if you haven't, please check out all of my other social media accounts for my Shorts and Clips YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Please and thank you. That is everything I got. Stay tuned and peace out, dudes.